Alright, so now we're into episode... I guess it's episode 6 here of Sonic Heroes, going into Bullet Station, the less aggravating grinding level, even though this is the second one in the series. And the reason I think that is because they really, in the second levels, they tried to add new stuff, and because they do that, they can't quite torture you as much with the premise that they started in the first level. So I really think that Bullet Station is an easier stage than Rail Canyon is, just like I think that Bingo Highway is an easier stage than Casino Park is. Although you guys have been watching, and maybe you've seen my life count, maybe you can tell me that I was wrong about that. But, we've been getting a couple E ranks on, those levels. So, our athletic eligibilities may be in question here. Our scholarship could get taken away, so we need to get back on track. And we're going to do that by running through Bullet Station with Omega. Now, the difference between Bullet Station in Team Dark playthrough versus Team Sonic's playthrough, other than length, is the fact that there are 3 canon moments, and they do different things with the cannons than they do for the Team Sonic runs. This first canon moment isn't even in the Team Sonic playthrough. Okay, so we've landed on a rail. I'm down. I've collected a bunch of stuff on that trip. I'm moving with Rouge, again, to be careful, because after my run, and then, of course, I saw a guy with a shield, so it was time to unleash the Chaos Inferno. Alright, and then you start running across these capsules. Those capsules are kind of interesting. If you remember to the very beginning of the Sonic Heroes run-through that we're doing, Shadow was kept in one of those capsules. So there's only one Shadow the Hedgehog, right? So why would we need so many capsules on this base? Something to think about. Alright, so now we're going to jump down in order to jump back up. We'll use Omega. Lose the shield on that guy's gunfire, but for the most part we'll be in good shape. Now we need to watch out for 3 train cars running by, so we'll just jump off the tracks and kill them. And then we're going to head up over this area, and we'll do something else that is unique to Bullet Station, and that is train car jumping. Team Dark, I believe, has 2 train car jumping segments. I think Team Sonic only has 1, but the first one for Team Dark is sort of simple, just like the first cannon run for Team Dark really wasn't that difficult either. But here you blow up the engine in front of the car, and you're put out in front of the tracks again. And once more, I'm switching to Rouge to prevent bad things from happening. So we can jump over this guy, and then we can head down toward the rest of the stage. Now here I'm going to take my only shortcut, and I missed some goodies when I did this. We've got 2 guys with shields, so we're going to blow them up with Chaos Inferno. And now we've got to get the passageways right to get us up to the next part. And you want both arrows pointed up and to the right. Okay, so now we've got those, so we're going to switch back to Rouge just so we don't do anything crazy here. We can go to the boost pad, and then we can go up. And there's the checkpoint. And we'll let Rouge get it, and that puts her at full power, so except for these shielded enemies, she will be in good shape. And then we're going to use these grind rails to skip the level down there. And we're going to use this grind rail to skip the fan section. But now we're in a section where Shadow is going to have to take over. So Shadow is going to tornado us from pole to pole. And then he's going to send us forward. They're going to collect the rings, but there's going to be a little train coming on this path, so we jump over to the other rail to avoid it. You can see the little enemy at the top kind of camping on us. We can go blow them up with Rouge. Then in order to activate these pulleys, we need to get rid of these capsules. And Omega can take care of that just fine. So now we are headed. Whoop! This enemy fell out of nowhere again. Not cool. Sonic Heroes has its fair share of that. And I missed one balloon, but I catch the other. And then we have to deal with all these enemies on this bridge. So we're just going to Chaos Inferno everybody. Because I didn't really know how many enemies were going to show up, and there were enough around anyway. And now we have a ring bridge, which we can send Shadow over using the light speed dash, just very carefully setting up, making sure we're right there, and then hitting the X button, and here we are. Now, we can't go forward that way unless we were to find a switch. So we're going to be going around. And we're going to be very careful going over this part. And we can see one guy waiting for us and a couple more spawning in as soon as we show up. And then another one spawning in after that. And so Omega will take care of these guys with his flamethrower. And Shadow will get to his third level. Then you got to be a little careful here because of where things are positioned. You need Rouge to pull that over, but you need Omega to break the capsule. And now we're into another cannon turret. Now this one is a little more difficult than the last one. But you can see I'm moving around the turret because I'm trying to activate the sequence that shoots you without necessarily having to kill all the guys who are down there. Once again, I put Rouge in the lead for this. So I've got her picking up stuff through these balloons. Now you can see that there are now obstacles in the way. This is only true for Team Dark, but it is true for this cannon shot. It's also true for the last cannon shot, and we're not there quite yet. Fortunately, we avoid all those problems. We get a 1-up, and now we are on another rail again and headed toward another location. Now this rail is kind of funny the way it behaves. And it didn't give me any problems here, but I have seen it do this in the past where it just doesn't give you enough speed when you come up off it. It doesn't give you enough speed in order to reach the platform that you're going to be aiming for at the end here. So again, we're mashing the X button, and fortunately we were able to get all the way there. Rouge uses her Thunder Shoot to clear out the first two enemies, and then unfortunately the fan caused us to bounce into the bazooka user. And then we couldn't get back in control with Omega at that point since Shadow was the first guy to hit the fan. So you hit the back up and try it again. There it goes. Now, there's a switch under here. I did not pull it because I did not want to get smashed by the item right there. And then you're given a couple choices. You can either fly Rouge on platforms, or you can take Shadow with the Lightspeed Dash. And I chose to do the latter there. And then this will lead us to our second and slightly more difficult train jumping segment. So we have to go on this rail to get up to this train car. And the difficult thing is going to be the enemies that spawn in. We're not, okay, that guy's kind of confused as to what he's doing. We need to jump over from this train car to this one. So we're going to use Rouge for that. There's the, we got lucky there and we destroyed the little capture droid. And now we're going to use Shadow to whip us over to this spot. But since it's kind of slippery, I decided to go straight into a Team Blast, because that will enable us to get rid of the slippery problem. The enemies that would have been here. And then we can jump over and onto the last car. And we can use Rouge's Thundershoot and then Omega's ability to break open the train engine and send us toward the final part of the stage, the go-kart section, or the bobsled section. Alright, now I've had some particularly bad luck with these bobsleds in the past, particularly on this one, because this is the Team Dark version of this bobsled run, which is the most difficult as far as obstacles. But I did get the jump at the right place there. So if the bobsled gets hit, you'll lose a character. Like, if it loses Shadow, it'll slow down. And if it loses Omega, you'll be really close. So the fact that Rouge only got there by herself shows you that we were very close to that ending very badly for us. And then, again, trying to use the flight character's recovery abilities stop us from going off into nowhere. And we come to the area that's located around the third and final cannon. There are 3 switches to be pulled here. The area looks a little bit different depending on if you're here with Team Dark or Team Sonic. But we pulled the first switch, and now we're going to go and find the second switch. I'm just trying to make sure there aren't any enemies around here. And so we're going to go around the back here, pull this switch, or just throw Shadow and Rouge around, because that's something else that we do, and we do it quite well. And so now we're into the final gun turret, and this time we've got the 3 capture enemies floating around, and here we get a little stuck trying to get the game to throw us into the cannon. Doesn't seem to want to do it. I try to jump in the air to get it to activate it. Remember, I'm staying near the edge. And I can't tell you what exactly the game wants from you in order to put you into the cannon. But here we have the last cannon shot. And so this one, it goes faster than the others and leads right to Eggman's head. So that second cannon shot was more difficult than this one. So now we're going to wreck the enemies that are protecting the goal ring, and I'm going to let Shadow run a big light speed dash to collect all the rings around here. And then we will check out of Bullet Station. And unlike Rail Canyon, we were able to do it without dying. All of our bonuses are intact. We set a new time record, which is, we set a new ring record, and we made a B. So really not bad, considering that, obviously, I don't think I've ever gotten an A rank on Bullet Station with Team Dark. But now this brings us into the boss of this area, the Egg Albatross. And yes, you know that I must have died at least once, because ordinarily there's a cutscene that leads into this. Now, the way that I fight this boss is I try to use Shadow's homing attack on the wing in order to knock off the wing. But you'll see that I got hung up on the back of the aircraft where there isn't anything to hit. Okay, the thing you have to get rid of is the wing part. And you know the thing, we've killed the guns, so it's not shooting anything. Okay, once again we're hitting the part of the ship. Now we found the part of the ship where we haven't hit yet, so the guns are there. And we're just getting wrecked. But this is how I would recommend doing this. So I mean, I wouldn't suggest doing it another way. Maybe I'm just remembering a Team Rose or Team Sonic playthrough where it wasn't causing this much problem. We got hit by a rush of egg pawns there. Sometimes wing just won't let me home onto it. Okay, there we go. We broke it. Now, what I'd like to do here is I like to attack the very back of the balloon where the propeller is. We've got one ring left that's not really a place we want to be. And it's interesting, the Egg Albatross came back and found us. I didn't know it would do that. You can see it's still shooting spike balls out of its side cannons. But here I use Shadow to attack the balloon directly as opposed to the propeller of the balloon. And that works just as well. So there's still one part of this boss fight left. This is the Egg Hawk returning again. And unfortunately, unlike the last time we fought the Egg Hawk, I still think the key thing to do here is to get your speed character next to it and homing attack the gunners to cause some damage. But we're going to get an aid here in the form of our Team Blast. We're going to pick up some rings, and those rings gave us enough for a Team Blast, and the Team Blast will give us enough to bring down the Egg Albatross, or at least the Egg Hawk part of the Egg Albatross. And that will bring us success. So we got a B for Bullet Station. We set a new time record for this boss fight for Team Dark and get another B rank. So we are doing a little bit better than we were in the last couple fights. And then comes this cutscene. And this cutscene is key to the Team Dark story for a couple of different reasons. And I will go into one of those reasons next time as we make our way through the Frog Forest. And I will see you then.